Good morning, MACU. My name is Alex, and I get to serve here on staff as an admissions counselor, bringing in prospective students to the university. Today is Celebration of Cultures is easily one of the best chapels of the entire year. So today you'll get to hear from students here on a panel. You'll get to see a couple of videos, but today we're going to celebrate cultures. We're going to begin with our cultural fashion show. And there are some students who have volunteered to dress up in cultural attire. And today they're going to walk down the aisle. So they'll come from the back, make their way towards the front, and then we'll get an explanation and hear a little bit about what they're wearing. Today, Erica Alvarez, our Executive Director of Admissions, is going to be the one who shares about what they're wearing. So we're going to kick off and hand it over to Erica to begin our first few students for our cultural fashion show.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the 2025 Cultural Fashion Show. In traditional attire, we wear our ancestors' dreams and our heritage with pride. We are so excited to be here, and we will start off with Alexander Pibashi. He is a citizen of the Comanche Nation. He is wearing what is known as his regalia, and that is known across most Native American tribes and nations. Beginning with the otter cap and drag, they are also made of otter fur, featuring conchos and ribbons for added design. The shirt he's wearing is known as a ribbon shirt, and the item wrapped across his body is called the bandolier. Made of either beads or bones, his leather belt is over his leggings, and he has front and back apron made with ribbon designs and cloth with bells under the kneecaps and moccasins. This is how the men dress for traditional dance, which is different between tribes, and that is what makes the Apache tribe unique. Thank you, Alex. Up next, we have Carlos Robles and Maria Escobedo, who are wearing traditional mariachi attire known as the traje de charro. The traje de charro is one of the most iconic symbols of American culture and pride. The mariachi outfit traces its roots to the charro, the traditional Mexican horseman. Charros were originally rural landowners and ranchers in regions like Jalisco, Michoacán, and Zacatecas. Their attire reflected Spanish colonial influence. By the mid-1800s, mariachi music began developing in rural Jalisco and nearby states. Mariachis, once seen as rural entertainers, became representation of Mexican spirit. When mariachi groups began performing in Mexico City, they adopted the traje de charro to elevate their image. The mariachi outfit includes elements like tight decorated pants, a white button-down shirt, a decorated vest, short fitted jackets with gold and silver buttons, a silk bow with a wide-brimmed sombrero. During the Porfirio, under Porfirio Diaz, charreadas, which are Mexican rodeos, grew in popularity, and the traje de charro became a symbol of Mexican tradition and elite style. The mariachi outfit today represents Mexican national pride, honor, and respect. Shaylee de Leon is representing Guatemala. She is wearing a traditional clothing piece of the indigenous women communities of Guatemala. The most common component of the woman's traje are the huipil, which is the blouse, the faja, the belt, and the corte, which is the skirt. Mayan textiles are famous for their vibrant colors and featured various motifs like geometrical shapes, including diamonds, stars, and zigzags, or more natural motifs like plants, flowers, insects, and animals. Each of the symbols, of which there are many, has their own meaning within the Mayan culture. For example, zigzags represent volcanoes and mountains. A diamond shape represents the four corners of the universe. Flowers represent fertility or new life. And the tree of life represents the life of man. Wearing the traje típico has long been encouraged by indigenous women, believing that I am showing the world my culture and identity and where I come from. Each individual symbol, intricately woven designs, and vibrant illustrates the rich Mayan culture that is still thriving in Guatemala after thousands of years. Give it up for Shaylee. Up next, we have Zoe Grundle. She is wearing a traditional dirndl. The term dirndl originally meant young woman in Bavarian, Germany. Over time, it came to refer to the style of dress that these women wore. The early dirndl was simple yet functional, made from sturdy fabrics like linen or wool, depending on the season. These clothes are traditionally worn in Germany to represent Bavarian culture. They were traditionally made for working class people, but were soon adopted by the upper class and became more well known, as people began wearing them for special occasions and festivals, one of those being the famous Oktoberfest. Give it up for Zoe. Up next, we have Ivy Moffat representing La China Poblana. The China Poblana dress is one of Mexico's most famous and beloved traditional garments, a vibrant symbol of Mexican identity that beautifully blends indigenous, Asian, and Spanish influences. The outfit is a white embroidered blouse, la blusa, often made of cotton or lace, a colorful skirt, la falda, made of silk or satin, richly decorated with sequins, beads, and embroidery, especially motifs like eagles, stars, and flowers. A shawl or rebozo draped over the shoulders, blending indigenous and Spanish influence. The look became especially popular among mestizas, which is mixed heritage women, who were strong, confident, working-class women in colonial cities who embodied independence and charisma. The word China is Mexican. In Mexico, came to refer to these spirited mestiza women who were admired for their beauty and sense of identity, similar to the charro. Thank you, Ivy. Ready? Okay. Jonathan Figueroa is wearing a traditional poncho and the sombrero charro. The poncho is one of the most iconic garments of Latin America. It has a long and fascinating history that spans thousands of years and covers much of South and Central America. Archaeological evidence shows poncho-like garments dating back over 2,000 years, found in Asian Paracas, Nazca, and Inca burial sites in Peru and Chile. The original poncho, consisting of a rough, brightly colored, hand-loomed cloth, was worn in early cultures of Latin America. The poncho was born out of necessity to keep warm and protect the body from harsh weather conditions while still having the freedom of movement to continue working comfortably. Fig is also wearing the traditional sombrero charro. The tradition of the sombrero charro is deeply rooted in the Mexican cowboy culture, originating from 16th century horsemen who adopted the wide-brimmed hat for protection from the sun. Over time, it has become a potent symbol of national pride, featured in performances and a key element of the charreadas, which is a Mexican equestrian sport. Thank you, Fig. Uzzle. Up next, we have Chloe Marabella Uzzle. She is a senior at Norman High School and is wearing the traditional Panamanian folkloric dress. The Panamanian skirt, or pollera, originated from the white Spanish women's dress of the 17th century. It is considered one of the most beautiful folkloric dresses in the world. The cost of wearing a pollera and its accompanying accessories can range anywhere between $500 to $10,000. There are many types of luxurious polleras, such as polleras marcadas, polleras talco en sombra, talco al sol, bordadas, and surciadas. In this case, our model, Chloe, is wearing a spectacular white pollera composed of two parts, a blouse and a long skirt called the pollerón, adored with delicate lace and braids. Chloe complements her outfit with bellotas, ribbons, and matching shoes. She also wears a thin petticoat, also known as enagua. On her head, she displays tembleques made of the fine white pearl, gold peinetas, and elegant sets of jewelry. Adorning her head are shimmering tembleques of fine white pearls paired with ornate gold peinetas and sets of jewels. The Panamanian pollera is more than just clothing. It is a symbol of national identity, craftsmanship, and feminine elegance, proudly worn to celebrate Panama's rich cultural heritage and traditions. Thank you so much, Chloe. Up next, we have Rosalyn Vera and Carlos Lobo, who are wearing traditional Venezuelan attire. Rosalind is wearing a style of pollera, which is a long dress with a full flowing skirt and blouse, often worn off one or both shoulders. The pollera is often decorated with lace and embroidered with a large ruffle at the neck. The traditional Venezuela dress is an important part of the country's culture and history, blending influence from indigenous, African, and Spanish traditions in a Caribbean style. Roslyn is wearing one of that represents the color of stars of the Venezuelan flag. Carlos is wearing the liki liki, which is a form of men's traditional suit worn in Venezuela. It consists of a high-collared jacket buttoned all the way to the neck, matching trousers, and usually paired with a llanero hat. Thank you, Venezuela. Up next, we have Richard Azenhiro McMahon and Emma representing the Kiowa tribe. Richard is a member of the Kiowa Warrior Society, the Kiowa Gird clan. He is dressed in traditional Kiowa men's attire consisting of leather leggings, breech cloth, ribbon skirt, and ceremonial mezcal bean bandolier. This is the proper Kiowan attire for participating in the Kiowa Gird dance ceremony. The eagle feathers are used as the eagle is considered a sacred messenger bird, believed to carry prayers and messages to God due to his ability to fly high and see great distances. Emma McMahon is a citizen of the Kiowa and is showcasing her traditional Southern plain cloth dress and attire. The Southern Plains cloth dress has roots in both traditional indigenous styles and adaptations from contacts with other cultures. Her medallion belonged to her great-great-grandmother, Lucy Somty. In Kiowa tradition, special items are passed down through generations. Thank you, Richard and Emma. Up next, we have Sina Willis and Isley Samuelu. Sina is representing the American Samoa Islands, and Isley is representing the island of Samoa. Sina is wearing a traditional Samoan dress called the puletasi, a beautifully and culturally significant traditional Samoan outfit for women worn across Samoa, American Samoa, and other Pacific Island communities. It represents elegance, identity, and respect, and like many Polynesian garments, it reflects cultural tradition. Isley is wearing a Samoan dress shirt, ofukino, and the traditional Samoan garment, the aifataga. The aifataga, is a traditional Samoan men's garment, blending cultural heritage with modern practicality. It is an important part of the Samoan formal wear, worn proudly in Samoa. Both are wearing Samoan necklaces. For Sina, ulanifu, traditionally made from the teeth of whales and symbolizing wealth and status. And for Isley, ulapua, traditionally made from coconut kuikui, symbolizing respect and beauty. Give it up for Ice and Sina. Fashion show. Thank you so much for your attention.
Hey, let's give it up one more time for our participants. That takes a lot of courage. So now you're going to hear from a couple of students, and we're going to learn a little bit about where they're from. MACU is a very diverse place. There's a ton of cultures represented here at the university, and so that's one of the things that makes MACU very unique and special in comparison to others. And so I would encourage you that as you're here in your time at MACU is to get to know who your classmates are, where they're from, what makes their culture special, and then compare and contrast and learn. It's one of my favorite shows is Ted Lasso, and he says, be curious, not judgmental. And so be curious and ask questions. And so today we're going to do that exact thing, is to be curious and ask some questions. So I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves in their native language, and then we'll go from there.
Hola, buenos días. Mi nombre es Carlos. Soy de Venezuela. Este es mi senior year aquí. Y bueno, es un placer estar aquí hablando con ustedes.
Hello, my name's Toby Lansdowne. I'm a senior from England.
Olá, bom dia. Meu nome é Maria Clara Escopino. Eu jogo futebol aqui e eu também sou uma senior.
Bonjour, moi c'est Zoé. Je suis une junior ici et je suis en France.
Awesome. So we're going to ask with a very basic question that probably a lot of people ask. And the first one is, what was the biggest culture shock they had when they first arrived in the U.S.? Obviously, if you're coming from different countries, the U.S. is very different. The first time I went to Whataburger, I asked for a large drink, and I was like, what is this water well that they just gave me for a drink? And so we're going to ask them, what was something that was a culture shock to you when you first arrived to the U.S.?
For me, it was definitely how early you guys eat dinner. For us, we usually eat like at 8, 9 p.m., but here they told me the cafeteria was open like at 5 p.m., and I was like, I finished eating, and then I go outside, and it's still daylight. For me, was a shock, but I got used to it, though.
So when I first came out, I moved into Texas, so seeing all of the cowboys and all of that stuff was a big culture shock to me. And like Alex said as well, the food portion sizes is good price for your money. So.
So for me, it was the fact that you need a car to drive everywhere here. In Brazil, it's very common just to go walking or take a bus to go to places. And here, since everything is quite far, not having a car was kind of a struggle for me. So if you have an international friend, just give them a ride. They will appreciate it a lot.
For me, it's kind of like a mix of everything. Is the fact that everything was so big, all the stores, the car, the roads. Everything is just huge. And yeah, when you go to eat, the large sizes are like the small sizes in France. So it's like.
Yeah, that's awesome. We get to celebrate. We just did Halloween and trunk or treat, and so I'm sure you guys all had a great time. Thanksgiving is coming up. Thanksgiving break is right around the corner, and then soon we celebrate Christmas. So in Venezuela, the UK, Brazil, and France, what is your favorite holiday or tradition from back home, and how do you celebrate it?
For us, it's definitely Christmas. I think it's a time where we kind of get together, all the family, maybe family members that you didn't see throughout the year. You just go together and eat some. We have like food that is specifically eaten in December, like hallacas, pan de jamón. So we just cook it and then come together and we celebrate as family.
Yeah, so similar with me as well. Christmas, getting the family together, celebrating your achievements throughout the year, a day of thanks, and opening presents and enjoying good food.
I think the most famous one is Carnival from Brazil. If you watch that movie, Rio, you probably know what I'm talking about. But personally, I like Festa Junina better. It happens in the middle of the year for us, which is winter. So we usually do bonfires, we serve popcorn. It's like a countryside festival, I would say. So I like that one.
For us, it's definitely Christmas too. It's a moment that you spend with your family. You just eat good food during 2-3 days in a row, and you cook, you are with your family, and that's all what matters.
Anybody else love Christmas? Like, Christmas got to be like #1 holiday. So next we're going to hear from one of our students, so I'll have you turn your attention to the screens.
Ciao a tutti, mi chiamo Edoardo. Back home, the weather is pretty nice. I'm from the top north of Italy. We have 4 seasons over there, actually, so you can experience the cold, the warm, the really hot season as well, and the mix between cold and warm as well. But over here, I feel like it's random every single day. Some days it's really hot, and then the next day, you never know what's gonna happen, if it's freezing cold or warm or just like another summer day. Something unique about being Italian is that you can eat pasta every time of the day. Doesn't matter if it's for breakfast or dinner, but we can eat pasta all day long. So in Italy, it's not always about Fashion Week or like we see in the movies about Milan, but we have the countryside as well. So something really unique about Italy is that each region where we live is completely different. So I live in Veneto, which is the region, and I live in the city called Padova. But if you just travel like an hour away from it, it's completely different culture as well, completely different vibes. The countryside is completely different, the city is completely different, and the history as well is different. The first thing you should do, you should go to Venice. I mean, it's literally a city floated in water, so I think it's pretty cool, and not just because that's where I'm from, but even because like it's pretty cool, a lot of history, great people over there, and then you cannot drive over there, unluckily for you guys American, but you gotta walk everywhere. Alfredo sauce is for sure the first stereotype that I think the Americans have. Actually, Alfredo sauce is not Italian. We don't have it. You're not gonna find it.
So where did Alfredo sauce come from?
So I think it's American, really American. I think we have just one restaurant in whole Italy that's in Rome. That's where they make Alfredo sauce, but I'm not really sure. I don't even know if it's still open.
Wow, that sounds Italian. Is there anything like Alfredo sauce that you can find?
Yeah, you can find like white kind of pasta, like, but we call it like panna.
Okay.
So it's coming from cheese as well, but it's different.
I did not know that.
Okay, so the strange thing that I saw here for the first time in the United States was the refill at the restaurant. I think that was pretty cool, and really challenging to see in the beginning, because in Italy you will never see anything like that. And at the same time, correlated to that is the water is free over here at any restaurant, which if you go to Italy you have to pay for all the glass of water that you drink. And another strange thing that I saw the first time that I came over here was going to the bank, and if you have cash, you kind of put inside a capsule in a tube, and the tube goes inside the bank, which I thought was really cool. So I think my faith is growing a lot since I came to MACU, thanks to the culture that we have over here and the community as well. I think here everyone is well accepted, and then it's kind of like a progressive growth for me, where every single day talking to people just around MACU, and to students, to coaches, to people working as well, that help me take me a step closer to God every single day. Italia è casa, MACU è casa.
Hey, shout out to Edo for doing that video for us. One of the things that you'll get to experience today is different foods from different countries in the Student Center. And so, speaking of food, Carlos, what would you say is your favorite food from Venezuela?
Definitely the arepas. I always have a hard time explaining what an arepa is, but it's basically like a cornmeal patty that you can fill with like cheese, avocado, you name it. You can eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, so that's why I love it.
I'm just going to say, not all English food is bad. But typically for me, a roast dinner, historically it was like a typical farmer's meal, eating your own produce, and now we just have it on a Sunday, really.
Well, I love pão de queijo. It's basically a cheese bread bite. We actually offering over there on the table, so help yourselves over there. We usually eat in the morning like breakfast, or even throughout the day like in the afternoon, just as like a snack. You can eat it by itself, or you can dip it also in a cheese sauce or even caramel. That's something that we usually do.
For me, it's definitely bread. It's just not an option in the table. It's always there in the breakfast, lunch, dinner, and any type of pastries. I tried. I gave a lot of opportunities here, but none of them were like home.
Obviously, you guys heard them introduce themselves in their native language. Toby's obviously very similar to the U.S. But the question that we're going to ask now is, are there any phrases or expressions in your language that don't really translate into English but have a special meaning?
I mean, there's a lot, but we have chévere. That's not really a word. Like, it's not in the dictionary, but it means like cool. But it has like a different like I don't know. It's like that feeling is hard to capture when you say cool here. And then the other one is echarle bola. If you translate it to English, it's like you give a ball or something, but it actually means to work hard. And I mean, I love that one.
Yeah, I found this one a bit harder. But like individual words like rubbish meaning trash, and then our biscuit is different to your biscuit, and cookie and everything like that. It's a bit complicated with that. But.
So there's a thing that we say in Portuguese that doesn't really make sense in English. We say the expression like "dá seus pulos," which translated means "give your jumps," which doesn't make any sense. But basically, what we mean by that is like, dar seus pulos, like find a way to solve a problem or just, do something to figure it out. Dar seus pulos.
I think most of the expression I'm trying to translate just doesn't make sense. But the most important thing is, I think it's in French, we use a lot of words that just don't even mean anything in French either. It's just we use it, like we just use it whenever. Like if we do something, we'll just like make a sound, if that makes sense. I would say like voilà or like up, just for doing something.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're really like facial expressions a
Here in
lot.
Oklahoma, they say that too. Op, op, op.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's very common to that. In a lot of Hispanic families in the Mexican culture, they would say ponte las pilas, which translates to put on your batteries. I don't know about you, but I don't have batteries to put on. But it's one of those expressions that just don't translate as well. We have another student who we did a video for, and so if you guys turn your attention to the screen, we'll see the next student.
Hola, soy Sara. I think the one that I'm still struggling right now is the unit system, like Fahrenheit, miles, pounds. Like when people tell me, oh, it's 80 degrees, I'm like, what? Yeah, no. That, and also like how like the US people like greet people. Like I'm used to going for the hug and the cheekies, and when I came here I realized that that's not normal, and there was a few times that I had to stop myself for going for the cheekies. I think that we're super welcoming. We like making people feel like they're at home. We like to share our food. We share stories. And I mean, there's a saying that I think a lot of people know, mi casa es tu casa, and we truly mean that. So one that is actually happening tomorrow, so from November 1st to November 2nd is Dia de los Muertos, which is Day of the Dead, which might sound sad, but it's actually a pretty special tradition that we do. We come together and celebrate and think about our loved ones that are not with us anymore. And we eat pan muerto, which is like a sweet bread, and we just have a good time remembering our loved ones. Maybe that we're not like only good food. I mean, Mexican culture is not only tacos or parties. It's much more than that. We are deeply rooted in family, traditions, community, and resilience. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do in Mexico. I mean, pretty common to go to Cancun, and we do have one of the seven wonders, one of the pyramids. There's just a lot to do, but if you ask my personal opinion, I would say in Monterrey we have Parque Fundidora, which is a massive park, and there's a lot of stuff to do. You can ride your bike, you can rent a boat, we have a lake, there's restaurants, there's just people having picnics. It's just pretty fun, and there's just a lot to do. There's probably more stuff to do, but I just don't remember right now. A common stereotype will be maybe that our independence is not Cinco de Mayo. Actually, our independence is September 16. And it's funny because we actually don't celebrate Cinco de Mayo like they do in the US. I mean, we just get the holiday, we get the day off, but that's basically it. We don't do much. Maybe Puebla does celebrate, but we don't, and I think that's maybe a stereotype. I mean, they're not a thing, but my family for sure. Just having with me here in the US, and also my dog, Luca. That's something that I'll definitely want with me all the time. So I'll say a lot. I think it's such a blessing and an opportunity that I have to come to a Christian university in which there's chapel twice a week, there's friends, there's faculty and staff, just having like that Christian environment. And that's something that I do not have back home. There's not Christian universities. So like I said, having that opportunity to worshiping and hearing God's words and having discipleship Bible studies. I think that's just, it made my faith grow even bigger and have a closer relationship with God. Mexico's home, MACU's home.
That's awesome. All right, what is one of your favorite things about your culture?
I think Venezuelan people are very welcoming. We are very family oriented. We love to be together. Just spend some time together. And also, I mean, if you don't know, Venezuela's been going through a rough moment for the past 25 years. But no matter how tough the moments are, if you ask a Venezuelan how are they, they're gonna say they're great, and that's something I love. It's always positive.
For me, I would say our history, how such a small country can have so much influence on the world, and now how England have incorporated all of those cultures into one small country.
I just love how we are such a passionate nation. Everything that we do with care and love. I have to mention Brazilian sports, not necessarily soccer, which where we know the most, but sports in general. It's very common to see like a Brazilian player stand out, not necessarily for being the best, but just because they represent the country with excellence.
For me, I'm usually sad when I hear that people think that French people are not nice and not really welcoming, because they usually just go to Paris, and I'm not from there, and I agree with you. They're not nice and they're not welcoming. So I'm sad when I hear that, because like if you go all over France, you will see that people are just happy to have you there and love sharing cultures. So if you go somewhere, just don't go to Paris. And I think also I really like our landscapes are really beautiful, and I think we really know it and we care about it, and I really like that about our culture. We don't use all the plastic that people use in here and things like that, and I really like that.
All right, so if we were to visit Venezuela, what would you say I'd have to go see or do?
I mean, the capital is Caracas, but if you want to see like amazing stuff, you should go to Los Roques. If you like, you know, islands, the beach. So they're basically like a group of islands with like crystal clear water. So it's amazing. If you like, like something different, you can go to Merida. It's like mountains, cooler weather. If you want to see like snow and stuff. We also have the longest cable car up there. And then the Angel Falls, I think you guys know it is the biggest waterfall in the world. It's just beautiful out there.
What about in the UK?
I'd recommend not going to the beach. But then the standard things like going to London, seeing all the sights, and then near where I live, there's lots of castles, so I'd say recommend going to that. And then doing a tour on the London Red Bus, that's pretty fun, and going to watch a proper football game.
All right, in Brazil?
Okay, Rio de Janeiro and São Paulo are the most famous spots, but Brazil is so huge, so it's hard to pick one. I feel every state has its unique feature. So I would say maybe the north of Brazil, like Salvador or places like that, it's very famous for a more tropical landscape. But even the south of Brazil, there are also so many beautiful things to see.
And in France?
Well, obviously going to Paris, like 2 or 3 days, it's still pretty. But then I think it's really important to go kind of everywhere in the country because, like, for example, the mountains are like really nice and the south is really, really pretty too. And I think the most important will be going in more smaller towns to kind of really meet with the actual people and not going being just with the touristic people and eat food from everywhere you go because wherever you go is really different and it's really good everywhere. So
that's awesome. We have one more video to show, and so I'll have you guys watch the next one.
Hallo, mein Name ist Elias Hirt. I feel like what's very beautiful about Germany is the south, I would say. Like Bavaria, we have lots of castles. Neuschwanstein, for example, I don't know if you've heard about it, but I feel like definitely the south. Or Berlin. Berlin is a very diverse place. Many people, I think it's over 4 million, I'm not quite sure. But I would definitely say South, Munich, or Berlin is one of the places you should go to. My little brother, most probably. We have a very strong bond. He's 10. He just turned 10 this year. And yeah, I would definitely bring him back as he really likes US. I mean, he only knows it from YouTube videos, but he would love to come here. And yeah, I would love to bring him here and have some experiences with him. First one that comes to mind is Dicka. It's bro, pretty easily. So we use it in every sentence. With my parents I use it sometimes because it's so, it's my mind the whole time. And yeah, I would definitely say Dicka. I feel like how open the Americans are, asking you how your day was, even though I have never met them. This was pretty new to me. Probably cars also, because the cars here are way different. We barely have any pickup trucks or sedan. Of course we have sedans, but not in the quantity they have it here. Just German people, like very white, which is not true at all. I would say it's even like it's the complete opposite. We have so many different cultures, Turkish people, North African, like such as Moroccan. So it's very much culture. It's like here in the US where it's like the salad bowl or something. I don't know what it's called, but like many cultures mixed together, and then everyone is in one country. I would say it's the same in Germany. I feel like that's what I'm going to say is that MACU has a very strong community, I would say, and it feels like a family. You know, it doesn't matter where you're from, what cultural background you have, or what religion you have even. You're always kind of part of the family, and it feels like home, if that makes sense. Me personally, I would say I'm a very open-minded person too, and very, just open with cultures. And I just see the beauty of the difference of cultures that we have and getting to know them. For example, in our team, I'm in the soccer team. Getting to know all these different people and what their beliefs are, what is typical in their country is just very beautiful to me. And Deutschland ist zu Hause, MACU ist zu Hause.
All right, final question. What's something that you'll really miss about MACU once you graduate?
Well, as Elias said, the community. Since I got here, it just felt like home. Just everybody that you meet here, they're gonna treat you like they're your family. So I love it. I grew as a person here and in faith as well, so I'll be grateful for that ever.
Yeah, I'll miss all my teammates and the coaches too. And the main thing would be the MACU admissions office. So.
Well, definitely the people. I don't think is the place that makes the experience, but the people that we meet along the way. And I just hope and I pray for that. Despite the distance, we're always gonna be there for each other. There are some people here that are always gonna have a place in my heart.
Well, for me too, it will be the people. I think I'm really grateful that we got to meet people from all over the world, and I really miss talking different languages with everyone and learning from their countries and all of that. So I'll miss that.
MACU is such a unique and special place, and so MACU may not offer a lot in terms of maybe some programs or maybe some athletic things that we do here, but what other universities cannot compete with is MACU's community, and it's you who make the community special, and MACU is truly home. And so obviously Venezuela is home, England is home, Brazil is home, France is home, but MACU is home. And you guys will always, alumni, once you graduate, you're always welcome back home. And so MACU will always be a community here for you. Celebration of Cultures is an incredible time, and now we get to go celebrate by enjoying some foods and candies and different treats like that. But yeah, as you guys walk through and experience all that, I want to give you just a quick reminder that every single person in here, regardless of culture and different language they speak and different places they're from, are all created in the image of God, and we all have a part of us that resembles that from different parts of the world. We just get to express it in such a unique and beautiful way when we see it celebrated through culture. So give it up one more time for your classmates. And then I'm going to pray for us, and then you guys head over to the Student Center and experience some incredible items. God, thank you for this time that we get to celebrate cultures and to celebrate what makes MACU unique. And so, God, we just pray that as students go from their country to here, that they would experience you in a powerful way. God, we thank you for every student that's here, every culture that's represented. And God, we thank you that we are made in your image. God, we pray that you would be with us as we go through the rest of this day and the rest of our semester, and pray that you bless our time in Jesus' name. Amen.